It is said, excuse me, that first adopters are usually the people that succeed, and the other way to describe these people are they are the trendsetters. So they see a novelty or something new, they start using it or utilizing it, because using and utilization are not the same thing. So I had this pop up on my radar here, and I want to do this course, right? I want to do it. But of course, I'm broke. And this is behind a paywall, even though it's a free month trial. And I'm not putting in my details just to take this course. Now, what I can imagine is actually all of this, even though this is this Google training, is catered to someone that wants to use it for their business. But all of the concepts of AI, or the information that is distributed from the academics to the industrialists, because let's call them what they are, right? Because the people that are in tech, they're industrialists, like the like Vanderbilt and not Roosevelt, Rockefeller, and some of the other Standard Oil, or like the railways of the early 20th century. And those men, some of them didn't have very good scruples. They were gamblers, you see. And they turned the stock market into the largest casino on earth. So what's the point of studying what AI can do if the financial problems have not been solved? Right? The reason why America prospered is because everybody understood, and they were all, at least I would like to think that they're all working towards the same goal, because of the distribution of information and urban legends and all the stuff these institutions and these organizations of social groups in which we spread information or misinformation. Excuse me, right? Because a lot of stuff that used to pass through the media, mainly books and newspapers. Wow, my phone is freaking out. Anyways, or via word of mouth, right? The understanding of extrapolating from, or the understanding required to extrapolate from, say, classical works of not literature, visual art, and of what would have been considered highbrow. And what's the point of this, me talking about this? Well, this entire short, this video is about access, right? And I have this sentiment in my head that if it's behind a paywall, if the information is behind a paywall, then it mustn't be very good, or someone is trying to hide something, right? It's information for a specific few. For example, the last time I'd seen something like this was with GBA and GBA Plus. And if you don't know what GBA and GBA Plus are, it's gender-based analysis that was adopted by the Canadian Forces in order to write the policy of how they would treat male versus female soldiers, and this was put out a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, somewhere around there. And the female leadership of the CAF was over the moon. But what it did was it took money away from other people to give them to the women, and that wasn't fair, right? So if we take things away from certain people to give them to other people, that's a backhanded compliment, or say that's a backhanded insult. Because not only do you take something away from someone that might have actually earned it, but then you give it to someone that didn't, but by virtue of their sexual characteristics. And that in itself is hypocritical, right? And if I want to move into AI, it'll be with the philosophers and the ethicists. Because from what I read, right, and from what we know, I've already said previously, I've claimed that we've already achieved the singularity. But there will be debates, when the history of AI is written, and then AI will start to quote that history written by humans. Because I don't think we should let AI write its own history. I think that's a mistake, or its own narrative. Uh, there is a world of possibility with this newfangled gizmo that we've come up with, right? And everyone else is scrambling as to how to use it, or how to prevent it from being used by other people, because of the potential as to how they would use it. Another quote that I've talked about before is, if you give good information to good people, they'll do amazing things. But if you give good information to bad people, they'll do monstrous things, or they'll do terrible things. And let's be real. There are things in this world that are beyond the human experience, that are, objectively and morally wrong, right? Because it goes against the sacred nature of creation. And how did we arrive at creation being the most virtuous thing, right? How did we build a society around that, around the renewal? And how did we arrive at this place beyond the obvious influencing factors of large scale catastrophes, that we didn't have the preparation, the plan, or the tolerance, the endurance and perseverance to get through it? And I just watched this video about the oil reserves in the States, and I recognize that by saying this, it's like, oh, I just learned about this. How did he not know that, sort of thing? But I was far more interested. Dang, that's the valve sound. I was far more interested in my life with just organizing things, and trying to have prosperity in my own efforts, and not have to fight other people off. There's this competition, and then there's something else entirely. And something else entirely is more or less what I'm referring to. So, Google, I may end up paying for this, but again, it's like JSTOR, right? If the information is behind a paywall, it mustn't be very good. Because if you know what you're doing, and you're an intelligent person, and you're initiated within this world of academia and the abstract, then all you have to do is ask someone. Sometimes it's just a lot easier to ask than it is to manipulate.